Welcome everyone to the September 8th Board of Selectmen meeting. You please stand to join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. First up on the agenda, we have acknowledgements. This is where we show respect for the passings of the previous month and celebrate the birthdays of this coming month of our town employees. Last month we had one passing. It was John Pratt Jr. If we could all just bow our heads and show a moment of silence, show respect to this gentleman, I'd appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. The other side of it, like I said, is the birthdays. This month we have 7. We have Allison Lawrence from the library, Jeffrey Como from the fire department, Andy Lucia from the fire department, Carol Martin, our town clerk, tax collector assistant, Jason Burns, fire department, Rachel Cody, welfare department, and our very own Patrick Smith from the highway department. So we'd like to wish them all a happy birthday and thank them for the service to the towns of Milton and the townspeople of Milton. So, up next on the agenda, we have Wade talk about the loader. Wade, do you want to come up front here so we can talk about that? Get up here. You can get it out that easy, Wade. But before we do it, something else I got to do first. All right, so. We want to present you with a plaque. Appreciation of 20 years of dedicated service to town Milton. Oh, thank you for everything you've done.
Face this way, guys.
Speech?
Good job, Wade. Thanks.
Speech? I don't have speech.
Speech? Thanks,
Wade.
Wade.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate everything you do. You got a
Yeah,
lower
we
though,
really.
right?
You're saving this town a ton of money. We very much appreciate it. So.
You got me.
I'll send this to you.
Okay. Next we have Chief Kraus for the dog warrants, 2015 dog warrants.
So just giving you guys the follow-up on the dog
Okay.
warrants that were issued June 1st. When we first issued them, we had 329 dogs that were unlicensed in town.
Right.
As of 9/1, we are down to 11 dogs that are unlicensed in town. Of those 11 dogs, 5 of the owners have been, which takes up 3, or just all but 3 dogs, have been cited and have been issued court summonses, so they will be going to court for failure to pay, because they still didn't pay it after the 15-day summons.
Okay.
The other 3, 2 of them will be issued court summonses, and one of them we have, only one owner we have not been able to locate. So everyone on the dog warrant list has been at least issued some type of documentation.
That's really good. I mean, down to 11. That's
Yeah.
really good.
Well, once most of them go to court, they should be coming in after the court deals with that process. Hopefully they'll come in and get it taken care of.
Awesome. Good job. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Alright, see you later.
Yep. Night. Have a good night. We can't do a public hearing until 6:30. So up next on the agenda we have Chuck Clerical. This is to talk about the easement, proposed industrial site, that type of thing. You're up front, Chuck.
Yep.
So I mean, this has been something we've talked about. You know, would you be here before? Were you before the planning board or just the economic development?
Yeah.
Okay. And we had a conversation with our attorney. He actually drafted up a motion that we would have to make for this to happen. So I guess, do you have anything you want to add to this first, or maybe here? Or? Just for the people who in the audience who aren't sure, he's looking to put an industrial business off from exit 17 area, and there's a parcel of land that we may potentially own. I say we, the town may potentially own, that he needs to get an easement to get through to get to the back piece. Is that fair enough? Fair statement? So what he's looking for is the town to give him an easement. So, did you want to, for the people here who haven't heard it, do you want to tell them what the business is, and maybe we can just kind of,
Sure.
all right, yeah, just kind of recap it, that's all.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing modular structures, for anything from dormitory to hotels. We'll employ approximately 200 to 250 people. So that's kind of it in a nutshell.
So you're gonna build a large facility up there too. How big was the facility you had planned on, and
It's
the
about
amount of people you wanted to
200,000 square
employ?
feet.
2,000 square feet, and the amount of people you wanted?
200,000.
200?
Yeah.
And the amount of people you,
Between 200 and 250.
that's a lot of people.
Yeah. Yep. Well, like I said, we did have a discussion with a town council about it, and he drafted up a motion that, I'm gonna ask one of the guys to read the motion, and, yep, you wanna read it?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, so, I move that the board consider the request for Charles Therian for an easement across the land of the town known as tax map 45 lot 70, subject to be the following conditions. 1, Mr. Theriot provide the town with the attorney's option that, opinion that the town owns clear title to the property, and that Mr. Therian pay the town all its legal fees incurred, and having that option reviewed by its attorney. The option to be provided to the town within 45. Say it again?
Yeah, you did, keep saying option.
Option.
So,
And it's
It's
Terrio.
not an option,
Yeah.
right?
It's
Yeah.
Terrio.
Terrio. There's no O at the end of it.
I
though.
know, that's what I said. I keep saying the same thing. I'm like,
Okay,
You wanna start over,
Terrio.
you wanna just start with motion one, this,
okay. Okay, ready?
take two.
It's opinion. So, Mr. Theriot,
Close enough.
provide the town with the attorney's opinion that the town owns clear title to the property, and that Mr. Theriot pay the town all its legal fees incurred, and having that option reviewed by the attorney. Opinion, of the opinion. It's stuck in my head, I don't know
Yeah,
why it won't.
that's all right.
The opinion to be provided to the town within 45 days of that date of this vote. 2, Mr. Theriot, prepare and file a completed site plan with the town planning board and obtain planning board approval. Mr. Theriot, meet all conditions imposed by the Milton Planning Board in the consideration of the site plan prior to the granting of any easement. 4, the easement will not be exclusive but may include the use by other landowners. 5, Mr. Theriot pay all costs of construction and permitting and provide adequate security to the construct, or should I say construction or just construct?
Construct of the easement.
Yeah, of the easement as may be established by the planning board and or the Board of Selectmen. That's it.
You have a second?
I'll second it.
Any comments on the motion, or is that what you're looking for?
Yep,
Alright.
sounds good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So, if you want, we can give you a copy, in fact, I'll give you a copy of these motions so you know what's gotta be done.
Do you know how much the fees are? Did he give you an estimate?
No, you can talk to Liz and she'll get you that information.
If you can get an estimate of what we need to get you.
For the right-of-way easement?
Yeah.
Well, last fall and then a few months ago, he had said it would be a minimum of $500, depending on how much research would have to be done.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah.
So,
We could try to do like 1,500 just so you have enough in there.
Great.
But I'm sure we can get a firm price from him for you, for that.
Yeah, just to make sure we have enough.
Yep. Okay.
Excellent.
It's a good start. Thanks,
Yep.
Joe.
We'll get started right away on the engineering, so we can get the application in.
Okay,
Thank you, guys.
thank you.
Do you want the motion? Does he want it?
Well, you
No,
can
did-
get me a copy.
Oh, you're gonna get him a
Yeah,
copy?
just call me when you get it, and you can get the price from him, I'll
Alright.
pick that up and bring you a check at the same time.
Okay.
Okay,
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
thanks, Chuck. We can't do that, so we have to skip over the public hearing right now to do that at 6:30. That's when it's posted for. So we're gonna move on to the Town Forest Committee approval for grant. We have a request from a Colleen Bassett. Did I get that right? Okay. I was hoping I didn't mess the name up. Basically seeking approval to apply for a grant, correct?
Non-matching grant.
Yeah, non-matching grant. Did you wanna tell us a little bit about it, what it was, and,
We're looking to apply for a non-matching moose plate grant. It's for
The
the town.
non-matching or matching?
Non-matching.
Non-matching, yeah.
Yeah, for the parcel on Casey Road.
Yep.
And, it would be, we would recommend it be used for maybe a tree plan, signage, things like that.
Yeah, we may have to look into getting a forester to come out if there's any fees involved in individuals, operating as a business.
you wanna make a, someone give me a motion?
Okay, I'm looking for the map and lot number, you need to have that, right?
Well, actually, we just, we need map and lot. Just for the Casey Road, town forest.
Yeah, I'll make that motion to, have the forestry committee, Casey Road Forestry Committee, obtain an application on behalf of the town for moose plate grant, non-matching.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So, just a little side, how's that going, the town forest committee and project and all that? I know Mike Phillips is in, during the meetings, but,
Yeah.
Yeah, last meeting I had Andy go to the.
Okay, yeah.
the night.
Yeah.
But they're here, if you'd like to
Yeah,
have
it's
any
just-
input, go, speak now, so I never hold your
Because,
peace.
the only thing that we hadn't really heard back about was the reasoning behind us wanting to change the name was because of, an RSA issue with the state.
Okay,
There was concerns that if we used the name, town forest, that the property could fall under the RSA's of the state instead of the town controlling it, or in a lot of what we're trying to do might be moved.
right,
I think we needed to get more clarification on that, probably from the town attorney,
Okay.
to make sure that we stand okay
Yeah.
legally with that.
yep,
Other than that, we've had a lot of conversations with, Moose Mountain, had a couple walks with them. And, we've also had a discussion with Barry Carr, Fish and Game. That looks very promising. It's still in the infancy of it. We
Mhm.
still need to develop a pretty good list of wants and not wants on the property, and Fish and Game will come back to us. When we put that list together and give it to Barry, he's gonna come back to us and say, okay, this is workable, this isn't. He'll give us the heads up on what Fish and Game would be willing to work with or not, as far as possibly taking on a conservation easement.
right,
And they have the funding, they have the money and the resources to do it, so
okay.
it would be a good avenue to go down.
So you want us to ask the town attorney, maybe we could have, you ask the town attorney the question you have about the,
It'd just be if we're gonna run into any kind of legal, conflicts with it being named a town forest or the Milton Town Forest, or, if the word town and forest are put together in the title of a committee,
right,
is the state gonna say, well, that falls under this statute or this, or, this RSA, and you've gotta follow our guidelines for what a town forest is.
right.
So that was our concern
Alright.
in the beginning.
Yeah, Liz just said that she can do that, she'll contact town attorney
Okay,
for you,
that'd be
and
great.
that answer. So, Good work, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks, guys.
Up next, color photocopier. Yep. Okay. Yeah, come on up.
A couple of meetings ago, I kind of sprung this question about the photocopying
Right.
you guys.
Right.
And I'm back to reiterate this a little bit, and just to give you a piece again. This is the summer sheet, and I have
Yep.
a proposal for
Right.
it, and you had the one before.
Right.
But I'm just doing this, the point of this is that you've got about 2 years to go on an older piece of equipment back there that you didn't buy, it was new to begin with.
Right.
And you've got another piece that I put in brand new, about 3 years ago,
Correct.
that's got more time to go. The point of this was that you can afford, or that's my opinion, that I think that you can afford to take out your oldest piece of equipment and put in a new color piece here, instead of having to wait 2 years. You've got at least 2 years to go before you can end the agreement on the
Mhm.
oldest piece of equipment back here. So for all that said is, it's really, and the color can be controlled. I have color. I have half the towns between Wolfboro and Exeter that do business with me, and in particular Farmington and Alton are close by here. And they both have color in the town hall. As a matter of fact, Alton's got 2 pieces, but we control the color there very carefully, that it's defaulted to black and white, so only those people that are supposed to be using color are using color. And when you defaulted to black and white, that prevents the accidental usage of color if you didn't know
Right.
to do it. So there's some controls to put in. The service pricing is actually gonna be lower. The Kingston Police Department is one of my customers, and I always remember Don Briggs saying, Dwayne, I want color, but I want you to know that I'm only gonna use color when I really want it. And they only use 100 to 150 a year, so it doesn't have to be an expensive effort. It's
No,
for,
what was the, I'm trying to put this all together in my head there. What was the additional cost?
$75 is what it's gonna cost you a month. And what that is, that's the difference.
Over what we're paying now?
Over what you're paying $89 a month, okay?
Yeah.
The new payment was gonna be $175, but I'm lowering the cost of the black and white per copy. Plus I'm blanketing it over the 2 units that you're gonna have here. So it's gonna lower your overall service cost here. And I'm gonna freeze the service cost for 5 years. That rate is not gonna go up in the next 5 years here.
Right.
So you can put it in your budget and say, hey, okay, it's gonna cost us $75 more a month to have a color device here that we can print in color
Well,
when we choose to.
if we're paying 89 now, and it's gonna be 175, that's
Yes.
$85 a month.
Yes,
rough-
but I'm
rough.
lowering it by $10 for the service piece.
Okay.
The current service
Right.
cost, it's 76, I think, I said 75. It's
That's
gonna be
fine,
70,
yeah.
but the point is, I'm lowering it and I'm freezing that. I'm just trying to be accommodating so that you don't have to wait 2 years to say that, hey, we'd like a color device in the town hall to use for purposes. I can tell you this, I'm working with another customer right now, and I did some research down at Staples, because I didn't really have a current. Staples is charging 59 cents for color copies, 69 if they use premium paper. And even if you buy 1,500 at one time, they only lower it to 54. We're talking about 6 cents a copy of color here. I mean, you gotta supply your paper, but this is a tenth of the cost if you had to go out and do this.
Right, no, yeah, I understand that.
So the bottom line to this is you got 2 years to go on your current unit back here, the older unit. And the other thing is the technology. I think we talked about that the last time. Windows 10 is out. Sometimes these units don't wear out as quickly as technology leapfrogs them. At the time that that unit came out here that we're suggesting replacing, XP was the comment. Before we gone through XP to Vista to Windows 7
Right.
to Windows 8 to Windows 10.
Yeah.
So
Right, I understand that.
it's a technology thing, and because of the cost of this older unit, it's time to get that guy out of here. If you're considering color, that's the one to go. not the newer one.
Oh, no, I agree with that. I mean,
Except
that's definitely the one that would go.
So
we
the
consider.
bottom line is, there's a bottom line.
part, I'm just speaking for myself, the part I'm wrestling with is the additional $75 a month. And that's the part I'm wrestling with.
Well, here's the rationale for it. The unit that you have back here that I'm replacing wasn't a brand new unit when I put it in here. I replaced it because we needed a secondary,
Right.
you guys needed a secondary unit. That's why the price of that unit was $75. The current unit that's in here, the other one, it's $198 a month, but that's a black and white unit. I'm proposing a color unit. It's got a single pass document that's equivalent to this. And it's for less, I'm using just above GSA pricing for this. There's not money in this. You can tell from the difference of your hair and mine that I'm probably gonna retire before you are. So the
Don't
point
count
of,
on that.
okay, well, we'll see. We'll see. The point of that is, I appreciate the business that I've had for the last 10, 15 years
Mhm.
here, okay? And I have a lot of Middletown Building Supply as my customer. The Assembly of God Church has been my customer here for a dozen years. And I just replaced the unit down there kind of for some similar reasons. The unit that they had down there really wasn't functioning the way that it should. They needed an upgrade on their technology, and that's why I changed that unit down there about a month ago. So the point is, this is a good time, if you can justify it. If you can afford it and
Right.
justify it, it's a good time to do it.
I mean, how often, Liz, would you use, how often do you use color? And, I mean, do you see a need to have a color
It's nice, it's a
Copy.
nice option to have, because I either go without, or I email documents to the fire department and ask them to print it out in color, and then they end up paying for our color copies.
It's unfortunate that the way this worked out, that the fire department has color, the police department has color, and you do not have color. Now, 3 years ago,
Well, actually, I don't see it as unfortunate because those are two emergency services.
and they should have.
And they should have color.
Yes.
Excuse me? Hello?
Sit right down. Yeah.
Yeah, have a seat.
Sit right down, Dave.
So to finish my thought here is that, yes, it's $76 more. And I've kind of played the cards here. Here's a key thing. You're only gonna pay for color when you use it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna default into black and white. And just like down at the Kingston Police Station, he does maybe 100, 150 a year, and that's it. So if it's controlled, you're not saying, well, I'm adding color here. Am I gonna add some cost that we're not budgeted for? 75, and Liz and I have already talked about this. I think you've got enough. If you don't abuse this, you've got enough money in this that you're gonna be able to cover the additional color copies here without chasing your budget. If you, again.
Are we
if you-
having, question, are we having issues with the other copy, the older one, of any kind? Service calls?
I don't know, you will
I
know
hope
that,
not, I hope
Julie.
not, because we try to maintain it and
It's
keep
not
it up.
used that
I'm,
often.
Okay.
I'm up here talking to those folks. I don't think that that's the issue. It's more of a technology, and it's more of, you don't need 3 machines. So
No, absolutely do not.
let's get the one that's $89 a month for 2 more years. I'll forgive you that. I can do that. That goes away. You don't owe anything for that. That's how in the aggregate here, that it's gonna cost you about $76 more. I'll get that out of here. You're forgiven for what's left.
Questions, Mike?
Yeah, anybody? Questions?
Anybody?
So what if we 1 month didn't even use any color at all?
Good question. You only pay for color when you use it.
Now I gotta affect the
And
bottom
here's how-
line of
here's how it works.
$76.
It's 6 cents a copy. If you do no color for a year, there's no cost for that color. None. That's why I've done it this way. It's as you use it, there is no commitment for color here. If this is defaulted and Liz's and her staff here use this appropriately, you're not gonna be incurring costs here. That you're gonna have to pay for the new equipment. It's a brand new piece of equipment. That's the $76 here.
Right. As far as the color usage would be on top of that.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
6 cents per copy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we
So
supply,
that's not gonna affect, if we just use
Right.
no color,
No,
it's
no,
not
I
gonna affect
know.
that at all.
and we supply all the toners. I bring it up, but there's nothing that you're gonna pay other than for paper and staples here. Nothing else is gonna be a cost to you.
Do you have the 75, Liz, in your budget?
Not now, this would go into the proposed.
I understand, but we don't know if,
Well,
it's
if
just a
there's-
proposed budget.
Right, but if there's a contract that is signed, then it becomes part of that,
That's a contract service, yeah.
right? So even if the budget fails at town meeting, when you have a contract that's signed, it becomes part of the default budget.
And there's one more thing, you're gonna be able to sign a fiscal funding addendum like you have on the previous 2 units. If this town doesn't have money, you can justify that you don't have money to pay for it, you can walk away from it. Every deal that I deal with any municipality or school, there's a fiscal funding addendum that's attached. You guys have signed it before for the fire department and for the 2 units that are here in the town. And I'm not asking you to decide tonight. I just wanna come back, cause I introduced Tom last time,
Right. Yeah.
kind of just stepped in here and said, hey, guess what?
Yeah.
I wanna do this. So I'm kind of back to say, hey, you've had a little bit of time to think about it, and if there were some questions about it,
Yeah,
I
like
just wanted
I
to
said,
hear
the only thing I'm wrestling with is the additional $75,
Yes.
$76 a month. I mean, we are facing some big bills coming up, and
And we're right on the corner from budget season too, so there's a lot to look at. Give us a little more time so we can start to see when the budgets come in, let's see where all the numbers land.
And that's fine with me. I just wanna make sure that we all understand where I was coming from
Yep.
with this,
Yep.
and that it's clear
Yep.
here. And if you have any questions, of course you can give them to Liz,
Sure.
and Liz can get back to me on this, okay, guys?
okay,
Thank you very
Wayne.
much.
thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for coming in again. All right, now I'm going to go back to the public hearing. It is 6:30. We have a public hearing posted for 6:30. And this, I'm going to read it. In accordance with RSA 41(9)A, Milton Board of Selectmen will be holding a public hearing on September 8th at 6:30 p.m. Milton Town Hall, 424 White Mountain Highway, Milton, New Hampshire. The purpose of the public hearing is to receive public input on a proposed amendment to the fee schedule on the solid waste facility and mandatory recycling ordinance. The proposed amendment is the scale fees at the transfer station. A copy of the proposed fee schedule amendment is available at the Public Works Director's office at Town Hall. With that being said, I'm going to open up the public hearing to the public. Any comments from the public?
Yes. See all the highway.
Very much so.
Oh, I'm sorry, Lou.
No, I wanted to make sure everybody else had a chance. And I have several.
Okay.
I will stand so you can hear me more easily. The first thing to do is to start out what I call my capable executive staff. Suzanne is kind enough to tell me what goes on Facebook from time to time. And she said there'd been some bad mouthing. And I just want to make a very clear statement for the compliment the transfer station for day-by-day courtesy and for the appearance. I was up there over the weekend and some of the computer shredding had fallen out of the container, and Dave was on it faster than my cat on a can of tuna. And that's a good thing. That said, there are some questions out there. And the first thing is that this says that the fee schedule are already subject to change without notice. If your original enabling ordinance said that, this hearing is not necessary. So there are some questions. One, how many stickers are out there? What was the total C&D volume this year and last year? How many of those are small orders? How often? As I understand it, the present reason for this change is that people are gaming the system. Another way of saying that is that they are following the low ball standards that got the scale approved 2 years ago, when they were told that small loads would not be charged and the tear weight would start at 60 pounds. And that was an inducement for the occasional user. So how many people are bringing a load a day at 50 pounds? 5, 10, 15, 20?
We have on record 12 ton of material in the last year that went across the scales that wasn't paid for, which was 60 pounds or under, and that came to a total of like $1,988 and some change that the town has to come up with to pay. That's only the people who went across the scales under. After talking with Lou, there's probably that much again that didn't go on the scales that they looked at and said, go ahead and just dump it, it looks like it's under the 60. So the only thing I can tell you for record is 12 ton
Was documented.
at 8 cents a pound.
Okay.
So, Selectman Boliote, is the T pronounced?
Yes.
Anyway, Mike said earlier that the scale would be set at 60 pounds exactly to protect and provide for the occasional user, and to properly bill large-scale users who were hypothetically charging, Grandma Fletcher 400 pounds to take the shingles away from her roof, and taking it in for $75 in a pickup truck, and sticking it to Milton. The fee schedule already says it's subject to change without notice. And the Pat has a very fair interest, and this is not Pat complaint, has a very fair interest in reducing all costs. And he's also on record as supporting pay for bad, pay for bad, pay for bad. And this is one more nail going toward that coffin. The second backstory is whether or not the transfer station should be a community service or a user fee. And I have never gone near the stop signs on Hopper Road or Cross Road, and I've never driven Jug Hill Road in winter. Where's my user fee? Now, never bring a problem without a plan and a solution. Here, in one small yellow piece of paper, it happens to be yellow and black. Those are my colors, but this is not election campaign stuff. This is information. Here's one. And you're out of town, but you're good.
Well, as far as the subject to change for this notice.
And you look at what, I even have one left to look at myself. Liz, did I give you yours?
You did?
You did.
Thank you.
Yes, okay. Very simple. I like templates. I like things. This is a generic form. It requires no date. It requires no cost be written in. It doesn't require any fancy printing. It can be filled out with a ballpoint pen, day by day, from a stack of them that has been paper punched and hung on a hook. It's the Town of Milton Transfer Station Bulky and CD Waste Monthly Use Ticket. It's good for one 50-pound load credit per current month, one time per month. You don't get 2 shots. It starts whenever it's purchased. Don't complain that you bought it in April and March is gone. It expires 12/31 every year. It has no refund or no credit. The cost is blank. I have it at $5. I'll explain why. Right now, it's January 2015. It is tied into a sticker number. When I dropped off a load of C&D It took Lou 4 minutes from the time I crossed the scale the first time to the time I crossed the scale the second time. If you call that 5 minutes and you use a gross figure of $20 an hour, it means it costs $2 to go across the scale. If you get 50 pounds for $5 your first month, the town makes $1 on the cost of printing this. You turn it over, and it says all uses of the town of Milton Transfer Station are under the authority of the Board of Selectmen and its agents, local ordinances, state and or federal statute, and posted rules. Any load may be inspected or refused. Violators may be further subject to prosecution. The ticket is not a contract. Its cost and terms of use are subject to change or termination. You get a date that was purchased. You get a receipt that protects you and protects the person that all costs coming into the town are being receipted. And it's an illegible signature, so no one is guilty. What it does, it gives Grandma Fletcher 50 pounds a month. If somebody comes in 2 days in the month with their second little box of 50 pounds, bingo, they're getting charged 8 cents a pound. I like it, of course I like it, I did it myself. But I seriously recommend it to you as a way of hammering away on the people who are bringing in 50 pounds a day and gaming the system, and somebody who wants to throw out a dead rug that they've already had for 10 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. Pat, would you like to reply to that?
You guys do what you want. I brought it to you.
Yeah, no, I'm just
You
saying,
know,
if you, I didn't know, I want to give you a chance to,
I don't have the numbers, all the numbers he's looking for. I didn't know I needed to have my
right,
spreadsheet
no,
here
that's,
tonight.
that's fine.
So we're just gonna talk about fees, and I gave my reasoning the previous meeting.
Yeah.
Again, you're gonna pay for the trash, whether you raise the money or whether you don't raise the money.
Yeah.
You use user fees. You know, I called a couple of transfer stations around the area. Wakefield has 5,000 people in it. They budget $425,000 a year to take care of their trash. They don't use user fees. Farmington budgets $210, and they have pay as you throw. Plus they have the scales and user fees. There are 6,000 people. New Durham, 2,500 people, they raise $235,000 a year for 2,500 people. No user fees. So ours is 184,000. We got 4,800 people. We're raising $184,000 a year for our trash. My goal is met because I'm showing you that I'm lower than
Right.
towns around us, and this is what I'm trying to do. This is what I've been trying to do, and I've not made any secret of it. Again, it's up to the Board of Selectmen. You decide how you want to pay for the trash that's going to go out of that transfer station. The reality is, it's going to come in and it's going to go out, and we are going to pay. My question to you is, how do you want to pay for it?
So it costs us money to get rid of it, so that's why it's, and just for the public who's not aware, the only thing we're looking to change on this is the scale fees. The rest of it remains the same as was already established. So, any other comments from the public? Mr. Brown?
Just let me say it again if it didn't come across loud and clear enough. Thanks to Luther, Dave, and Chris? John, I'm sorry, lousy on names, for the work up at the transfer station. No complaints, I just wanted to be consistent.
Appreciate it. So I guess my question is, so the proposal is to remove the under 60, is that what
Correct.
they, okay.
Correct.
Because
Yeah.
what he went through with this yellow slip was exactly what I was discussing, I can't remember.
Can you state your name for the record for?
David Carpus. I've actually, over the last 2 weeks, used the scale quite a bit because I've had a 3-story barn reclapboarded, so I had a lot of C&D debris to get rid of.
Right.
And one of the things that popped into my head with the $60, and I also had heard that people were gaming the system and bringing it in, was a similar approach. Was everybody that comes in's got to drive onto the scale anyway. It's like if it's just a once a month thing, you can't game the. If somebody's going to go through the effort of only coming in once a month with under 50 pounds to get rid of a whole lot of stuff, I'm doubtful that there's many people that are going to go through that effort. But if in other words, a small revision of just saying that $50 or that 50 pounds a month is only once a month, you still get the exact what he was saying about you still get the occasional one to get rid of a rug kind of thing without making people pay for getting rid of a single rug in a single month. And
The only issue I see with that, and I like that philosophy if we had the manpower, but now you're gonna take a person that's gonna track that, whether this person was here last month or this month, and if that place gets very busy at the second night, gets very busy up there, I can see something like that having the potential of falling through the cracks, not knowing, not catching them. Yes, Mr. Brown?
That requires no effort for tracking. The tracking is on the onus of the person who wants it, and all you need is a ballpoint pen. If you come in January and want your 50 pounds, hold it in, it gets crossed off. That's it. No further tracking is required.
Yeah.
But there has to be.
What if
has
the
to be-
resident doesn't bring this?
then they're paying
lose.
8 cents a pound.
They lose.
I like his solution of this. The one thing I didn't have an answer to is the 50 pounds a month, once a month, and you're still okay. Was how to administrate it and manage it.
Yeah.
If you don't have this.
You keep
don't
this in
get
your car. I'm like, if you have a stick, it's a tied to a sticker number. You just keep it in your vehicle, whatever vehicle it is. And if you don't produce it,
Right. And if you don't have it, you can buy another one and give the town $1 for the new sticker. The old sticker has
$5,
no.
but stickers are $5 now.
This is also $5.
the form,
in
not
it-
the sticker, the form.
The form is $5. You come in, you use it. The minute you put an X on it, it has no value. You wanna buy another one? You give the town an additional $1. And so, you can't game the system by buying multiple copies of these, because each one of these is more than 8 cents a pound. If it goes up to 9 cents a pound, this goes up to $6. So, having lived in New York and worked in the prison system, I try to think of it from a gaming perspective.
Yep, no, I appreciate that.
Works for coffee shops everywhere.
True. They punch them. Yeah.
So do we wanna consider this?
That's
That's
up,
the question.
that's up to the board. I mean, I think it needs to be vetted more, my personal, right now, it's still in the public hearing part of it, we'll bring it back to the board. Any more public comments before we close?
So how much does it cost, Larry, to have those printed?
It cost,
I think he volunteered to
I
do
used,
4,000
I used 5 inches of double stick tape, to make the cardboard stock. I used my wife's services for my occasionally legible printing unmercifully for about 15 minutes to get her to turn the printer on. I cut them in half myself, and this does not have to be beautiful. You just type it out. This happens to be typed upside down, so you fold it over and do that. But cardstock can go for our printer, no problem at all. And it does not have to be photo ID theft proof, because it is automatically canceling at the end of the month, automatically uses up its 50 pounds and automatically pay $5 to get it.
And it's tied to the sticker anyway, so if you're driving in with a vehicle that doesn't match the sticker,
In
this
fact-
isn't any good.
May I say that
One second.
another 2 points for for Luther or anyone, Luther doesn't use the sticker number. He writes down the,
Plate number.
Plate number.
the plate number, which is, which if you're going to go for, violators may be further subject to prosecution, it's harder, to gain your license plate than the Milton sticker. So violators can be tracked by having to use their plate number.
Gordy?
I kind of like his idea to a certain extent. My only issue with it is it's going to put another burden, I think, on the folks that work up there, and it creates, I think, a circumstance where it could, you could create another argument over, is this valid, is it not valid? And let's face it, those folks that are interested in trying to dump for free, basically, are going to push this any way they can. So I look at it with a little, I would defer to the guys that have to administer it
Right.
to get their input as to, does this make sense, or are we creating a monster?
What do you think, Dave?
I go along with Gordy, no, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. The folks who work up there, just gonna put more stress, there's not enough people want a little swap shop thing, Dave Hero, by the way.
Right.
If you want swap shop out there too, to drop their stuff off, you know, this works fine, this, you know, all right. It's not possible, there's not enough manpower, and people tend to tell you a little fib, this works
No.
fine, they just wanna get rid of it because they don't want it. Who has time to plug it in to see if it works, a vacuum or whatever? It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. That's all.
Tom, I got a
Then
question.
you, George.
Who approved the current fees?
What's that?
Who approved the current fees that we have now?
We did.
Okay, and it says at the bottom, prices are subject to change without notice. So you left yourself that option already.
Oh, I know that,
Do
I
is
know that.
enforce it.
No, I know that. That's, we're gonna address that too.
Simple.
When it comes back to the board, we're gonna address that. But, so, yes, George?
Yeah, I thought we kind of agreed at the last meeting that we were gonna do away with any freebies.
Yeah.
If we don't do it this way, we're gonna pay it in taxes.
Yep.
You know, you can't get away from it.
No, that's what the public hearing is for, just to hear what other ideas are, but I agree with you.
To me, that's the easiest way, everybody pays the same thing. We don't have to check and see if this guy's month is checked or not. We don't have to go through selling these stickers, making these stickers. I like the idea, but why? We don't need it.
Yeah, I mean, another thing I'm thinking about is whether it's the sticker number or the plate number,
Yeah.
somebody has to verify it and matches.
That's it.
So,
We don't, excuse me,
Yeah.
we don't need a swap shop. It should not happen.
yeah, so,
I do wanna say, Larry, I do appreciate all your effort,
yeah, I do too.
and I'm not saying that we're not gonna do it, but I just wanna throw that out there that, you know, thank you.
Yeah, never did that though. Any other public comments before we bring it back to the board? Yes.
Because I wasn't attending all the meetings earlier and last year, whenever the scale first got, you specifically commented or mentioned that the part of the approval for putting the scale in place was something tied to a small quantity. Was that a pure board, or had that been, was that a board decision, or what was, where did that decision come from?
It was a board decision based on input from the Public Works. And the intent was to try to alleviate from the mom and pops are gonna throw away small items from, being stuck with something, or 20-pound items, 30-pound items, things like that. And unfortunately, what we're hearing is happening is people are,
Getting
grabbing
abused.
40 pounds, 50 pounds, coming next day, 40, 50 pounds, going again. And, I'm exaggerating possibly, but I mean, they're doing that type of thing to try to get out of paying the fee. So and like Pat was saying, was it 12 tons
12-ton that we can
in
account
last
for.
year? Yeah. That was under the 60 pounds, that's almost $2 grand. That,
And this doesn't apply to metal and stuff like that?
Correct, no,
It's only
this-
bulky?
yeah, bulky and C&D.
Bulky and C and D only.
Yep. Yeah, metal and recycling, and the regular household trash, all that stuff remains the same. Yes, Cody?
I think going to the scale has been a great thing for the town of Milton, because it's even the playing field, if you will.
Yep.
If we all recall years ago, you know, that we were very inconsistent in how we applied the fees to various loads, depending on the mood or of the operator up there. You could charge $5, you could be charged $25 for the same load.
Exactly.
And this scale business, I am all in favor of, because it makes it very objective.
Mm-hmm.
It provides an accurate number, you pay for what you throw, and I think we're on the right track. Now, I appreciate the effort to try and take care of the smaller loads, but I tend to agree with George. We're at the point where, hey, somebody's gotta pay for it. We're gonna pay for it, either in our direct taxes, or
Correct.
I think it
Yep.
should fall to the user.
Yeah, it's either
That
the user.
makes most sense to me.
Yep, it's either the user or we all pay for it.
Yeah, no, I think I mean, let's face it, 50 pounds is what, $4?
Yeah.
So,
Even from a contractor's standpoint, the fees that we charge here is still a screaming deal.
Oh, I know.
One other thing to tie in with the finding a way to keep track of, I think we're gonna find the labor level almost the same from a perspective of, if you remove that under 50-pound aspect, everybody that comes through, I don't care if it's a garbage pail this big, you gotta go through the scale, if it's C and D. It's like, as it is right now, it's fairly, you guys can see when somebody's picking the thing up, or you pick it up, and it's like, okay, this is like 20 pounds, just throw it.
You're pointing at me.
Yeah, or whoever.
For the record, he's pointing at me.
Yeah, sorry. It's like that, they can easily make a judgment call and see a bunch of them that are under 20 pounds or under 30 pounds. Something very light, it just goes in the bin, and you don't have to go across the scale. Now everybody's gonna have to go across the scale. The amount of labor versus keep just punching the number and stuff like that, it's probably gonna be almost the exact same amount, because you're gonna have to increase how often somebody's gonna be tearing somebody driving through with their vehicle before and after they drop off a single garbage can full of construction debris.
Yes, Dave?
In my defense, sometimes, yes, I see folks who pull up, they don't have a whole lot, I'll walk it over there for them. It's gonna come down to get on the scale, that's gonna make an issue with a lot of folks. A lot of times I'll just grab, want to get over there for them, sure, no problem.
It's less effort, it's less work and effort for you to do it, and it still fits within the under 50, so it's all good.
Well, yeah, but and then again, it comes back to the judgment call.
Yeah, that's.
So, the scale is there for a reason. No more judging. Whatever, that's what it is.
Yeah, and all I'm pointing out is that you remove the ability to, if it's that light, if it's a small little light load, doesn't matter, everybody goes across the scale, and
Right.
it's gonna end up being.
It's gonna be a new traffic pattern, right onto the scale.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Anything-
more labor in terms of having to weigh every vehicle that's coming through that has anything that's C and D. That's why I'm just vocalizing the level of effort is gonna probably be almost the same whether or not we remove the $50 and everybody has to be
Actually, it's
scaled.
$60.
Or
60
60
pounds,
pounds, we
yeah.
remove the 60 pounds, or we provide something like this. I don't think the labor on your part, on
Yes, Pat?
Public Works is gonna change.
Two things. First of all, the Board of Selectmen voted at the last meeting that every resident that has construction debris or bulky debris has to go across the scale per vote of the board at the last meeting.
Right.
Secondly, I disagree with the amount of labor because you're going to either have to go look at the item or the person's gonna come in the traffic pattern, go across the scale, dump and come back, and Lou will take care of it when it comes back. If you're not going across the scale, then Dave's gotta come off or Sean's gotta come off to go look at the item to make sure that it's a bulky or a C&D item and that it's under that weight. Then they leave the commingle container or the MSW container and are off someplace else looking at C&D when Lou should be handling the C&D and the construction going across the
Scale, yeah, I mean,
scale.
that's what,
So I don't see that it's less labor intensive and no offense.
I'm not saying it was less, I'm just,
Yeah.
I'm saying it's
Yeah.
probably about the same,
I
it's
think
not
it's
more
gonna
or
be
less.
more because you're gonna take two guys
off from their
off
assigned
of what
duties.
they're doing to take care of something that one guy should be doing on the scale. So if everybody's gonna do the same thing, again, consistency. This is what I try to preach and that's where I wanna be, is
Yep.
consistent. Again, it doesn't matter to me which way the board decides to go. I'm stating my case.
Yep.
Along with the rest of the people in the room stating their case. We are going to pay for it, is the bottom line.
Yeah, one way or
How
another.
do you wanna pay for it, is what you need to tell me.
All right,
It, on the, August 24th, it took, 4 minutes, to take 20 pounds incompletely. That was on a absolute no traffic, nobody.
Mhm. Thank you.
Receipt number 2215.
Thank you.
Tom?
Yes.
I think if some of these people wanna know how it works up there, come up sometime and spend a couple hours up there and see what these guys go through. Stand out there and watch what they're doing for a while, and you'll get a better understanding of what they go through for the day.
Yeah, I agree.
Invite anybody to come up for a while. Spend some time up there with these guys,
Spend 8 hours up there. See what
in the hot
happens.
sun.
Oh, you,
Or in
all
the
you do is
boardroom.
stand around all day long. Yeah, that's not the case.
You'll have a better idea of what they go through.
Well, I
All
just
right.
think,
Good. Yeah, go ahead.
I just think that, Pat has stated that we are up to 12 ton and it's around $2,000. And that's without, the little 10, 15 or whatever pounds that they just throw out. It could be another, 5, 6 ton or whatever. We could be up to $3,000. I did check with the city of Dover, and I did check with the town of Hampton. They have scales, and they don't give up to 60 pounds free. I just think it's unfortunate that we're here talking about this because of how many people that have tried to scam the system. I'm sort of with George, so it's just.
Okay, let's see, one last call for public comments, then we'll bring it back to the board.
Just a quick question for you. So you had the number, that there's 12,000 that was specifically accounted for, that was,
12 ton, I have
or 12 ton,
tickets.
that didn't get paid for
Right.
effectively. So I'm assuming you know exactly how many tons total of C&D was picked up and removed, because
I do have
You're
that, but
charged-
I don't have it here tonight.
yeah, we're charged
Okay.
per ton
Yeah.
for it to go away, and we
Yep.
know how many tons we've actually
Yep.
got paid for. That'll even account for how much was 10 pounds, 20 pounds, just tossed over without going over the scale. We can just take those two numbers and subtract and see exactly how many tons we didn't get paid for. Whether or not it was because somebody
From
didn't
now
go
on,
over the scale,
you
or
go over the scale for 10 pounds. You're going on the scale.
So,
No
yeah,
more
we can
60.
I keep a spreadsheet, plus I keep all my tickets. I get weigh
Yeah.
tickets, we have to weigh in and out at the facility that we go to, so we get tickets. So we know exactly what's going in and out. When we did this a year ago, we reduced the budget by $30,000. That's what we estimated we were gonna save out of the budget by going to the scale. We reduced that out of the budget.
And I don't doubt that, because like I said, I've done I did a lot of loads of clapboards and stuff, and I happen to have timed it where I actually brought a load in my pickup truck fully before the scales were enacted, and then came back the very next week and the scales were enacted. It was like, it cost me $25 to get rid of the entire pickup truck one weekend. The next weekend it was $45, because that's how much it actually weighed. So I can imagine how much was saved.
We're hauling out every week. We got at least 1 to 2 bulkies a week, and about one C&D. So there's quite a bit that goes in and out. If you looked at the tipping fees before we started the user fees, the tipping fees, the highest year I think that we had was $115,000 that we were raising in taxes for tipping fees. We've reduced that with user fees down to $66,000.
Okay. Any more public comments? Okay, I'm gonna close the public hearing. We'll bring it back to the board. And what's the wish of the board?
Mr. Chairman, I would like to make that motion, but I want to hear from
Yep.
Selectman Rosenthal.
I think we should do away with 60 pounds for free.
So I'll make that motion.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman. So I want to thank Larry, put a lot of work into that, very thoughtful. I'm impressed, but I'm not surprised, Larry. Thank you. I want to thank the people who brought us here to this point, who have worked the system. And I want to thank Pat for his work on this, in all his work in the transfer station, making it what it is. So I will move to approve the proposed amended fee schedule in the solid waste facility and mandatory recycling ordinance.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It's approved. And just to address, not to reopen this, but just to address the fee subject to change without notice, we're gonna relook at this whole ordinance at some point in the very near future, and housekeeping, that may come out. So it's just gotta go to town vote to be approved, but that may come out. So, okay.
Oh, Larry?
Just for refer to side 2. I don't remember seeing up at the transfer station, but just the summary that all uses of the town of Milton transfer station are under the authority of the Board of Selectmen.
Yes.
A disclaimer like that could reduce some of the grief that people who work there get, particularly any load may be inspected or refused, and violators may be further subject to prosecution. And I think that might quiet some people down.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Okay, thanks, Larry.
Okay, up next, Michelle, town clerk, dog license repayment. Talk us about that.
It was just a woman who registered her dog twice in 1 year.
Really?
Yes. February and then again in July.
Send her on the scales.
Get her another dog.
Just going 3 on the calendar.
February and June, I'm sorry.
Okay,
not February and July. February and June.
I'll read this letter for the records. And it says, the Board of Selectmen, gentlemen, on Thursday, June 11, 2015, Mrs. Dupuy came in to license her dog and was charged a late fee. She had forgotten she had licensed her dog online February 13th. I'm respectfully requesting the Board of Selectmen to make a motion to have the board bookkeeper refund $36.50 from the E-Reg account, and says who we make the check payable to.
Mrs. Dupree?
Dupuy, yep.
Yep.
Robin Dupuy. Just looking for a motion.
Okay, you okay with that?
Sure.
Okay, I'll make a motion to have the tax collector refund Mrs. Dupree, receive a refund of $36.50.
The bookkeeper has a refund,
bookkeeper.
yeah.
For tag number 15-0868.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next, we have online motor vehicle transaction. What is this? No, this one, okay. And I'll read this one for the record as well, then let Michelle tell us about it. On Wednesday, August 26, 2015, Mrs. Lerochelle registered her 2005 GMC Yukon online, which had already been registered on July 22nd, 2015. I'm respectfully requesting the Board of Selectmen to make a motion to have the bookkeeper refund $211.20 from the E-Reg account, which is the amount the town collected on August 26th for the online transaction. And make check payable to Joseph and Wanda Lerochelle.
So how does that happen, Michelle?
I
That's
have,
twice.
I have no idea. Well, because the system only gets updated like every 30, 35 days or so.
Yeah.
So, once it gets updated, you can no longer go in and do a renewal. But this one got right in there.
Is that an answer, Michelle?
I would never register my vehicle twice in the same year, so
Okay.
that's amazing to me.
Right.
Don't you send them the tags?
Yes.
Can they still do it?
Moving on, I'll make a motion to have the bookkeeper refund $211.20 to Mrs. LaRochelle, Mrs. LaRochelle,
Lerochelle, yeah.
for overpayment of her registering her vehicle.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Is there a way, Michelle, do you know, I'm sorry, I almost skipped that on you. Is there a way that,
It's not a usual circumstance for someone to register their car.
no, I understand that. I'm just saying, is there a way that once someone goes in, does that registration, it would lock them out from going back in there?
No, the state only allows us to update our system after 30 days. And it would take it out of the system then. We don't have that authority. In other words, it's really, the information that
So-
we're pulling is from the state system.
So it's a state issue.
Not really, that's.
So I'm just saying, I know that sometimes if you go online with your computers and go to do something, then you go in again, and it says you've already done what it is you're trying to do, it won't let you do it a second time.
After 35 days, there is that mechanism in there
Let's-
where it doesn't allow you to do it again. Someone would try to do it twice within that time period, it's just unusual.
Hmm.
Oh, I'm gonna register my car.
Wow. Okay, I just didn't know if there's some way they could set something to just lock them out after they've already done it once, so. Okay, Burns contract for the sewer department. This is the, notification.
Yeah.
Yep, okay. And let's see, they have changed from Carroll County,
Stratford.
from Stratford County to the Burn, yeah, Stratford County was doing notifications for alarms set up for the sewer. Now it's going to work with Burns, and there had to be some changes. Okay, this letter is this is July 17th. We asked for an explanation of it, and we've gotten it, and it says, this letter is being sent to inform you that as of September 1st, 2015, Stratford County Dispatch Center will no longer receive and process alarm signals directly. This dispatch center currently provides emergency dispatch services for several police, fire, and EMS groups within the county, and we must prioritize these services into the future. And it says, we will continue to work closely with DM Burns Security Inc. to dispatch emergency services personnel upon notification to the central station selected by DM Burns Security Incorporated. And then it says, but now you should have received a letter for the contract, and this is a contract we have to enter into with them to
Have
get
the
this done.
alarms monitored.
Yeah, to get the metals monitored, so,
Yeah, unfortunately, there's not much we can do.
no, it's. Need a motion to approve the contract, guys.
I'll make that motion. as per letter,
Mhm.
as per letter.
Okay,
I'll second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. That's yours.
Here's the other two.
Oh, thank you. This is something you're bringing up later, or?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, up next, approval of the minutes.
Okay.
Good night. Good night, Pam. All right, congratulations.
They don't wanna hear the approval of the minutes, Dave.
Good night, Ben, Sean.
So you guys both read all the minutes?
Yep.
Okay. You guys wanna make any changes?
I didn't see anything either one.
No.
Okay, neither did I, so I'll make a motion to approve, the Monday, August 2015 minutes as read.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. So I'll make a motion to approve.
Hey, Dave.
What's that?
I was saying good night, Dave, that's all.
Make a motion to approve the non-public minutes first session. To release only 2 and 4. And seal the rest, definitely. Send this one we're still working on.
Yep, okay.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye.
Make a motion to approve the non-public minutes for August 17th, second session, and seal to further notice as it's ongoing right now.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm gonna ask advice of the board after I'm done with this.
Okay.
August 24th. Because they're written as minutes, meeting minutes on paper here, but they're non-public minutes on the agenda. So we're gonna call them non-public, number 1.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve the non-public minutes for August 24th. My question to the board is, this is a sensitive information about residents and deeding, so do we wanna seal these indefinitely?
Yes.
To be sealed indefinitely.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That would conclude the minutes.
And
Chairman?
there you go. You just need signatures. Expenditure report. Everything okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Looked at it today. You sent it out. It's okay. Recently.
It's been last week.
Yeah, last week. It was recently.
Yeah.
You sent out how much we had left. Okay. Administrative comments.
The first item I have has to do with New Hampshire Solar Garden. Hi, Andrew.
Yep. I thought you missed us. That's why you're showing up.
Totally come late.
Yeah.
And this has to do with taxing
Yep.
the equipment onto solar projects. And Andrew, do you want to explain it a little better?
Thank you.
Yeah, let's give a little background. Good evening to the board. Again, Andrew Keller from New Hampshire Solar Garden. So before I talk about the tax, I just want to give the board a quick update on some things that are happening.
Okay.
It's been a few months. Last I was here, we talked about the approval of the rebate That was officially done. The governing council signed off on it, which was a very big hurdle for us. One of the other solar projects in the state did not get approved. So that was some help from Liz and some others that really helped to push that over the finish line. The last two hurdles was Eversource giving us their approval, which they have done. We've paid for a portion of the upgrades that are required to keep things moving forward. We paid that this week, which is a big hurdle for us. And we're just waiting on the New Hampshire DES folks to officially sign off on the approval of putting it on a cap. They've reviewed it. They understand everything's fine. There was no comments that came back to us that we had to do anything different than what we originally proposed to them. They know that there is a state rebate associated with the project, so they're kind of bringing it up a notch as far as getting that officially signed off. Our other landfill project, similar in size to this one, was officially signed off on. I don't know why that one got done before this one, but they're basically the same application. So all things are pointing towards this week. We should have that final signature. So good news is everything is moving slower than we expected, but all the permits are falling into place now.
Okay.
The last piece of the equation for us from our underwriter's perspective is the incremental tax treatment of the equipment itself. We've never really talked about it early on. It was kind of a quasi town-owned project, so we didn't really talk too much about it. This, a known factor for us and potentially a known factor for the town, brings value to our process for our financing, which has already been approved, and the loan I think is officially, the construction portion is going to close this week as well, now that we have all these permits in place. But having a known factor of how it will be treated from a taxation perspective is something that we're working on with a lot of our other towns on our larger projects.
Okay.
So we came to Liz just with our standard draft pilot agreement, which the boards in different towns are allowed to enter into if they see it's a good fit for the town. They are allowed to go out 20 years on these pilot agreements based on the financial terms of our agreement, and our project has I believe it's a 12-year construction term, maybe even up 15 years on the construction terms. So we look for longevity in that agreement just so we have kind of a known factor. But more importantly, equally important is then the town knows that every year this piece of equipment is going to have a tax value that you can put on the books.
Okay.
So having that ability to work with Liz and work with the town attorney to review the draft pilot agreement that we put together has been approved from some other towns. It's been through kind of the process, the attorney process in Franklin, Antrim, Hillsborough, a few of the other towns that are kind of bundled with you guys as far as where we're at in project development steps. So I think we're really just coming tonight just to look to the board to give their okay to move that process forward, and then coming back with once the attorneys reviewed it and have another discussion. I didn't really know what the next steps were after we talked about tonight.
Well, what they would need to do tonight is make a motion to move forward with a public hearing. You have the public hearing,
Okay.
and then you have to take the vote. I think it's at the following meeting. I'm not sure. I gotta look up on that. But the next step is to.
But we have to move this first.
Right.
Tonight,
That's
yeah.
to go forward with the
Yeah.
public hearing. Yep.
Got it.
Okay. Okay.
Good with that, Tom?
Huh?
You good with that?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Andy?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll move forward in scheduling a public hearing in accordance with RSA 72:74 in order to sign 2 pay in lieu of tax contracts with 2 solar projects in town called Milton Town Solar LLC and Kegney Road Solar LLC.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Do that. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Andrew.
So when are we gonna start seeing panels up there?
This fall.
This fall?
This fall is going to
Coming
happen.
soon.
It's coming, I know.
It's been a long time, Andrew.
It has been a
Yeah,
long
it's
time.
been-
The DGS folks, they retired out, I think 3 or 4 people. And that's literally been our longest lead
Yeah.
time on it. It's just been killing us to get
Right.
that permit. We can't do anything, especially that and the Eversource is the most critical.
Yep.
And they literally just happened the other day.
Nice.
So fingers crossed this week.
Good
All
job,
right.
Andrew.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. The next thing is the hiring salary structure that I sent to you. I brought it up at the last meeting. You needed some time to think about it.
Yeah.
My question was, do you want me to add any COLA that's issued each year to the minimum and maximum scales?
Yes.
And then,
And I think the second part of your question, should we go back retroactive? Definitely not retroactive, as far as I'm concerned.
No.
I
Yeah.
recommended effective immediately,
Yes,
not
going
retro,
forward.
if the board approves the COLA.
So I personally say yes, add it to the pay scale.
Mhm.
That's my opinion, and just make it from this date forward.
It's unanimous.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. The next item is a draft letter to Cynthia Wyatt in regards to Piggott Road.
I'm fine with it. You have a copy? You don't give me my copy?
No, I do, I just.
Right here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. With-
Okay. So,
You good?
Please,
you just need
yeah.
to sign it, that's it, and,
Yeah.
Your copy,
You
you
do.
got it?
I'll sign this one.
okay. The next issue is a very minor housekeeping item. The
Thank you.
welfare department has been approved for up to 24 hours per week, 3 8-hour days. However, she has been budgeting for 25 hours. So, I'm asking that the board make a motion to approve her work schedule for up to 25 hours. To make it legal.
Yeah. Okay.
So motioned, to make it legal.
You good?
I'm good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. The next item is, we need to think of 3 dates for this month in regards to budget meetings. 2 budget presentation meetings, and then 1 meeting where you would make your decisions on each budget. And, for this week, Thursday is available. Next week, Wednesday or Thursday. The following week, Wednesday. And the
If I have to, I work till 7 o'clock at night on Thursdays.
on Thursdays.
Yeah, but if I have to be here, I can be here. If these fellows can't, that's a good day for them.
Well, what about a Wednesday and a Wednesday for the 2 presentations, the 16th and the 23rd, next week and the week after, and then the following week, either.
What are the dates, 16th and the 23rd?
Yep. And then the following week, either on a Monday or a Tuesday, to make your decisions on the presentations.
So next,
That would give you a little bit of time to think about the presentations before you actually make your
16th,
decision.
23rd, and what date, last one?
30th?
30th? Okay.
No, either the 28th or the 29th, either Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with 16, 23, or,
we're gonna be here for what, the 28th anyway, right? No, the
No,
21st.
no.
So,
yeah.
So it's up to you if you wanna do that Monday or that Tuesday, the last,
Let's do it on Monday,
okay.
if you can get, Bale's good?
yeah,
Alright, and I'll send you
that's
out,
the 28th.
I'll send you out email reminders.
Yeah,
Is that good with
16,
you, Andy?
23, and 28.
Okay. And then,
And what time is
last-
it? 5:30?
that's up to you. What do you wanna do?
What do we get scheduled as far as which departments and,
Well, nothing, I'll be setting that up.
okay,
Like the 3 big ones probably in one night and then all the little ones in another.
right,
So, but you, You can,
Is Wednesday or
5:30 or 6 is good for you.
what's better?
5:30 is good for me.
5:30? Okay, 5:30.
Okay.
Yep.
And then
Just not 4:30.
and the last thing is, Milton Pride Day. We've all received a letter on Milton Pride Day, which is Saturday, September 12th, from 11 to 2. Up at the elementary
Yep.
school. That's all I have.
11 to 2, you said?
Yep.
Okay. Selectmen's comments.
And as we're talking about Pride Day, the PTA has asked me, as we did last year, if we could shut down School Street from 11 to 3, but they said 11 to 3, but it's only to 11 to 2, so I guess 11 to 2, shut down that street so that, because they're having horse rides and so forth. We closed it last year.
Yep.
So is that fine? I don't know if.
Yeah, it's just, well, instruct Chief Kraus to close the street down.
Okay. I want to thank the highway crew and Pat. They all left, but for putting up the basketball hoops down at the courts at the town beach. Thanks to the highway crew. It looks good down there, and I've seen people playing basketball. So I think this is a huge asset once again for towns, peoples to be able to do something with their children. The only other thing I have is John Locke is a town resident. He has donated 2 commercial grade picnic tables to the new playground in a memorial for his son who's passed away with cancer. We need a motion to accept these tables so he can come in and purchase them. They're $2,000.
Each of both?
For both.
Okay.
So I think that's a great, I can't thank him enough, and I apologize that he's lost his son, but moving forward, this is it'll be really nice to have some picnic tables down there.
Right.
So.
You want to make the motion, Mike? You want me to? You make the motion?
Are
Do
you
accept?
making that motion?
Mhm.
I'll second it.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Awesome. Mike?
So, we met at the MEDC meeting. We talked about Chuck a little bit, but we also talked about, and as a result, him here tonight, Jerry Coogan is gonna send me the information after everything is approved. So Chuck can take advantage of the benefits of the economic development program.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Also, I get to talk with the fellow who owns the China Pond.
Okay. Yep, Mike.
Yeah.
Yep.
Somehow I don't see Mike in them. You know?
I don't either, but that's.
Anyway,
yeah.
so I get to talk with him. I stopped in there before I went to the MEDC. Congratulated him on his purchase for the raised marina on the water side, and asked him, just chatted with him a little bit about what he wants to do with that. So some of his ideas, and in talking with him, he seemed nervous about what he just did.
Oh,
So
yep, I'm sure.
he's thinking about, first, a restaurant. Now, whether it's a Chinese restaurant, I don't know. I would assume it would be. And second, maybe a laundromat, 10 machines.
Mm-hmm.
And that's as far as his planning has gone right now. He has no plans right now for the 8 overhead doors that are left on there.
Right.
Cumberland Farms was a little disappointed because they could have had a bigger superstore instead of him fighting for that contract. Remember that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So they'll probably end up using it for storage, they had said. So that was the outcome of the MEDC meeting. Okay. I was given a detail to work with the layout of the office here.
Mm-hmm.
And I come up with some rough
Okay.
drawings, okay?
Yep.
But what I did discover was, and we can take a road trip upstairs to that storage up there.
Yep.
And in fact, can you give me just 1 minute?
Yeah.
Talk about something, I'll show you what I mean. This is storage now, this is town sensitive stuff. Let me show you what we got.
Okay, closer to the discussion.
George, you said what I was thinking.
Thank you. Nobody
Larry.
Good night, Mike.
First time at it. Yep.
I'll wait for his head to pop through the ceiling. He's crawling up there.
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
Cover it down through.
There's approximately about 40 of these up there. And there's a lot of other useless stuff. There's old printers up there that we don't use anymore. In fact, I had to look at it closely because it's been a long time since I've seen a printer that old. And what brought this about was securing records from the welfare office,
From my old office.
Yeah,
from her old office,
right.
for someplace in storage. And upstairs came to mind. And we can find a way to block that off, but we need, I think what I want to do is, if I have the board's approval, is have everybody in the town here go upstairs in their stuff. and
Everybody in the
find-
town office?
Yeah,
Okay.
like maybe a Friday at 2 o'clock.
Right.
Go up there and take a look at their stuff to see what we can relieve up there.
8 cents a pound.
That's 8 cents a pound, right? Good job. Right. So, number one. Number two, the office layout here, remember we always said that it's pretty much dangerous to have, you know, the sensitive tax
That close to the door?
that close to the door.
Yeah.
So, this is just rough looking for ideas. Come here. Look at this, guys.
What do you got?
So, as we walk in the door here, right, instead of having that counter, right now the counter's back here.
Correct.
Okay, having, right after that storage room, have a counter come to here, with a wall dividing this, okay? And this is where Kathy would be, to answer questions.
Okay.
This would be land use right here to answer questions, okay? Of course, this is still Liz's office,
Right.
and then we can have offices back here for, like, right now, Kim, who discusses sensitive information,
Mhm.
is just on the other side of these petitions here, discussing on the phone sensitive
Right,
information to
right.
people. And when you have a line of people outside there, everybody can hear that. It's just something to think about,
So where are you suggesting to move her to, or
back here someplace.
back here?
right?
So this is as it is now, and what you're suggesting is moving that?
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
And what's
I'm
this-
long- I'm looking for
yeah.
ideas.
Yeah, no, now what's this space here from the wall?
I didn't draw it right.
Okay.
This
so-
is, this is supposed, this is,
Yes,
this is
but-
supposed to represent the welfare office and this tax collector office.
Right.
Tax
This
collector.
should go closer to the door, correct?
Right,
As
yeah.
it is now?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. So, maybe get some help on drawing up some final plans to this, closer. I got two offices back here, this door should go over here, another office here. This is the storage area. Brian would still be here.
Right.
This would be a meeting room over here.
Yeah.
I think it's a matter of it's a matter of building walls and building this counter.
Yeah. Well, I think, I agree. I've never liked the layout of the building as it is,
Right, yeah.
and I don't like the fact that we got cubicles and not actual walls.
Yeah. We should come up with some closer plans we all agree on, and maybe send out to have some bids on it.
Yeah. Have you sat down with the office personnel, asked them?
I went around, in fact, I asked Liz, she
Yep.
had some good input. I asked Kim,
Yep.
I asked Kathy for their input. So this is kind of what I came up with.
Okay.
Needs more work, it's rough.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you go in the direction we asked you to go. Yes, Michelle?
It'd probably be a good idea to go around all the departments. I mean, just so we all can be clear to you what it is that we need for security.
Exactly.
And then the police chief has been through in our offices and has had security issues with departments. So he would probably have some good advice for you too.
Sure. It's still in the rough draft.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
But at least it shows we're thinking about moving, going in that direction.
Right,
That's,
sure. Yeah.
Because I totally agree. It's just not a good idea. The first place you walk into is a tax collector or the welfare office or something. That's just, I don't like it. Okay. Thanks, Mikey, for doing that.
Hey, well, can we talk about credit card if you go non-public with that? Credit card, I think.
No, that's a public issue.
Okay, so we have what, 4 credit cards? There's fire,
Mhm.
police, administration, and recreation. But they all have the same account.
Okay.
And they run into problems with even late fees.
Right.
Okay, so what would be wrong with having separate accounts? 2 of them. Karen's is a frequent user, Recreation's a frequent user of that account.
Well, first of all, Karen's, not to interrupt, but her account comes out of a revolving fund, which the commissioners.
Right, but that's, yeah, and they all have their own accounts that they pull the money from to pay this. Okay, but I'm talking about the bank account.
Yeah,
where
that,
they
that's what I'm
money is
talking about,
paid
Mike.
to. Okay,
That's what I'm talking about.
okay.
Where the other 3 accounts that you're talking about come out of a general fund. And Joanne said that it shouldn't be like that.
Okay.
So the commission took a vote, our last meeting, said that they want the old card back. They're the expending agents.
Mhm.
So they
So,
would give them their own separate account.
Right.
right,
Yeah,
just the way it
That's
was
right.
before.
yeah, so that's what we're proposing, that we go back to that.
Yep. I'm good with that. I mean, if it's creating problems now with his late fees because just things aren't gelling, all right, let's go back the way and make it work. Comments? You? Liz?
Couple of little comments, I guess. Everybody does have their own account number. It's not one account. There are 4 different account numbers. The only problem with late fees is the recreation department for reconciling the bill, attaching the invoices, assigning line item numbers. And then the last thing is, whatever you do regarding credit cards, you must follow the purchasing policy,
Mm-hmm.
section 14.2.
Well, I don't think that, I mean, the problem with the rec department is they have to get, they used to have to get 3 signatures, and that came to they did take a vote to allow, the selectmen's rep to sign off on the bills, and then when we all met, because we only meet once a month,
Right.
so that's an issue. So they did make a vote to allow me to sign off on the real critical bills that need to get paid before the bill is due. But that credit card was changed without the commission's approval. and it should have never been changed. So, you know, the commission, they're the expending agents, and they didn't have a choice to vote their opinion on that credit card being changed, and so they made a vote to change it back to the Bank of America
I
card.
think that's what Mike's suggesting anyways.
Right.
Changing it back to that.
But it has to go through the governing body because that's
Yeah.
town policy. The Recreation Commission can't do it, the selectmen have to.
Yeah, but it didn't even go through the selectmen to be changed, did it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes. I remember that when that happened.
yep,
It probably did.
yeah, it
Probably
did,
Yeah.
yep.
'Cause-
Well,
Yeah, because I remember when we had the discussion about credit cards, all the departments, they were included into
Mhm.
that whole discussion.
well, I'm on board to change it back. I mean, prior to that, Mrs. Brown used to go down and pay the bill.
On the last day,
Well, we still didn't get any late fees.
well, actually, we did.
All right,
That's for another discussion.
yep. Anything else?
The rest, in non-public.
Okay. I don't have any selectmen comments. I will have the planning board update next meeting. So,
Excellent.
yep. Okay, public comments. Look at the hands, John.
I got probably an hour's worth.
That's good.
I'd like to give you a couple of them. I know I'm probably running over time, but I just received a letter from the New Hampshire Division of Historical Resources, better known to you people, the Moose Plate grant that I applied for. I'd like to just read it publicly to you. Dear Mr. John Catwick, the Division of Historical Resources would like to thank you for applying for the New Hampshire Conservation License Plate Grant. Many fine projects were reviewed, and the committee would like to commend each organization in town for its dedication to New Hampshire's treasured historical resources. This was another great application, and had there been more funding, your project would have been funded. I can only suggest that you reapply in 2016. Thank you for your application. Please join us in our quest to encourage more people to buy Moose Plate license plates so more grant funds can be made available for worthy preservation projects. What it means is that we will not be getting the grant for the Moose Plate to do finished work in the Milton Townhouse restoration. I'd like to have brought this to the attention of these new people on this forest thing that they're working on. The town is really, state is basically not receiving enough funds for selling license plates. I would like to add to it also the Milton Mills Library. I was hoping that the library trustees, Larry's here, would be here tonight. I'm not sure whether they're all aware of it or not. I know the secretary is. They also will not be receiving it. Any questions with that?
No.
No. Thanks for applying.
Yeah, I'm gonna reapply when it opens again.
Mm-hmm.
It's all to do with funding. The next item I have is, we've been discussing it for the last couple of months, and what it is to do with is the downtown. I've done a lot of research on this. It's really a problem for the town, us, to be able to fix it because of possibility private land or possibility town-owned land. I don't know if you're all aware with the history on it, but I'm going to just give you a quick history of it. This has been requested to the Board of Selectmen for over 10 years to have this fixed. The town pound was built in 1804. It was voted to build on March 13, 1804, voted meaning town. Jonathan Pickham was elected the pound keeper, meaning assigned, elected to be the keeper of the pound by the town leaders. September 29th, 1823, the pound was rebuilt. Meaning rebuilt, it was a wood construction when they built it the first time. The second time they rebuilt it with stone.
It was voted to rebuild the pound and that it shall be built with rocks, man and oxen, 12 cents per hour. In 1928, the pound was moved back when the state widened Route 16. We're all aware of that. So then I went back in some of my records and I found a letter here dated September 12th, you can laugh if you'd like, 2005. Dear Selectmen of the town of Milton of New Hampshire, the town pound was located across Route 25 from the Milton Townhouse, is in need of repair. 2 sections have collapsed, one small partial collapse on the exterior, and another larger section, 8 by 10 wide or so, on the inside. Exactly what we showed pictures recently. Let's see, I don't want to have to go through all of it. This gentleman here made statements here, I'm going to just eliminate a lot of it. As a caretaker for Joanne Richards, which is a landowner, and you all know this, land over the property on which the pound site. I have done minor maintenance on the pound for about 15 years. My work has included mowing, trimming around the walls, and replacing the occasional stone. The current collapse looked like more than I can handle. In consideration of the nature of the structure, probably deserve professional attention. My purpose of writing, this is to the Board of Selectmen meeting, a letter. My purpose in writing to you is to bring the state of the town pound to your attention. I encourage you to go over and see it for yourself. The gate sticks a bit, the same gate we got a key to today, but it will open. There are many options for fixing up the town pound. I'll be interested in hearing what you have to say about it. He also has a little note and he questions whether it's town-owned or privately owned. I just wanted to read that with you. And it's also gone, from that time, 2005, it's gone through the Milton Conservation Commission for them to take a look at and try to address it. The good news is I do have another quote for it that I would like to share with you. The first quote received, it was given to you, Mr. Gray, for $10,000. And I recommended on one of the meetings we had recently that we probably get quotes from other people. So I got another quote, like I mentioned, by the name of Thomas Vashon. His quote came at $2,500. I think we need to think about this historical site and how we're going to address this. It's complicated in my mind because of possibly being private land. It almost like we'd have to either get some volunteer to maybe address it when the grants have more money to go after it, and or a warrant article to do it. We couldn't do it on, we can't make decisions ourselves, from what I see.
Right, yeah, it's probably
Right. So that's kind of an update on the town pound, and you know, there's no question, I'm still gonna move forward, get another quote from the Cynthia Wyatt, like I mentioned, Stone people that did work for her.
Have you done any research with the Register of Deeds?
No, I haven't.
See what they say?
No, I haven't. I thought the best thing would be to do is get the Register of Deed, get a copy of her deed, Joanne Bridges' deed,
Right.
the owner. And she's been here, I've talked to her recently, I didn't address this with her, but she's coming back again next month, and maybe that's the time to maybe get approval from her to work with me or whatever, and
Right.
see who owns the land.
Right, yeah. Get that answer first and see if we can go from there. So I agree, we wanna save it before it falls completely.
Yeah, right. You know, it's an important site for us. I mean, on top of that, as you're all aware of, that the scenic byways in moving stages right now and having meetings quite often, and these are the type of things that we're gonna start logging in and, you know, posting for historical reasons.
Yep. That it?
That's it.
You're 45 minutes short. Thanks, John.
You want more?
No? Michelle?
I couldn't quite hear the dates that you were scheduling your budget meetings or workshops for.
16, 23, and 28.
16 and what?
23 and 28.
Okay, So just a reminder that we have a state primary on the 22nd this month.
That's right.
And
Yep.
I just wanna make sure you didn't schedule
Yep.
anything during that day.
We'll be here.
There, you'll be there.
That's right, it is over at the,
Church.
church this time. We'll be there.
Did
Okay.
you ask me? I'll ask you later on this.
Public comments, anyone else? Mr. Brown?
Yeah, different topic. The gentleman who is wishing to provide picnic tables. One of the lovely things you see on back roads of New Hampshire, even one on Route 4, First New Hampshire Turnpike, going into Concord, just past the now closed tourist site. Picnic table set out under tree cover. And it's time down at the beach and also possibly at the playground to start thinking for next generation trees. Recreation Commission particularly, because those trees that are there are either at or reaching maturity. And there are trees, there is a hybrid sunburst locust, which has a very, very fine, almost shredded tobacco leaf, fast growing and thornless, which provides shade and very minimal upkeep for the parks and rec. The second one is more serious and more pessimistic in terms of the easement. And that easement, did the board consider the phrase hypothecate, which is when one party offers something of value as a surety for something else? I'm concerned that a facility would not be built, yet the holder of the easement would try to sell it off for additional value and not produce anything for the town. And I believe I mentioned before, there should be a return of the easement on any default of any condition. Is that written?
In one of the terms?
Yeah.
Those are the terms that were brought forward by our planner and were vetted by a town attorney. And I'm not sure what it says about the return to the town or not.
Yep. That just a pessimistic and
Yep.
cautious person.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, not hearing any. I'm gonna close public comments. And we're gonna have to go back into non-public and RSA 91, A32, and what are the, I think one of them is A. Personnel, right? A. Yep. And I'm not sure what you have.
Good night.
91A32A.
Swearing? Mrs. Smollett is always good.